Greetings, everyone, on this beautiful summer morning. I'm Tom Shantz, a spiritual businessman, and I'm here to share with you all about how to maintain that inner balance when you go back to work after a vacation. You know, I recently went back into the office and I'd been to some spiritual retreats and camps and a bit of vacation, and, I was feeling very relaxed. And one of the things I noticed was that after I went back to work, it was the end of the day. I enjoyed it, but there was a bit of mental chatter going on, in my head. And I was tired. That was something that, really struck me. So, we talk about the balance between intellect and feelings. And there's a time, that can come up. I know for me, this would be an example of where there was a lot of intellect, but I wasn't, really back in my feelings yet as I was, driving home from work. And so what I did was I actually stopped and I sat in my car. Well, actually, prior to leaving work, I sat in my car and I relaxed. I thought about my key word. I called my spiritual helpers close and I regrouped my day from a spiritual perspective. And the day in a way wasn't like a big aha moment, but there were things that I noticed. I noticed when I put a little pressure on myself, when kind of a competition energy might have moved in. Um, I I was comparing myself a little bit with more seasoned people or more experienced people in the situation, or who are on top of it because they've been around. And so anyway, the way I recognized it was just a bit of mental chatter, feeling tired, and not just being in my feelings like I maybe started off the day. So I said, I ought to share about this as a spiritual businessman. And when you can't seem to get the feeling, but you seem to have a lot of thoughts, it's a great time to just relax, take a deep breath, call your guidance close, and regroup the day. And one of the ways that I do that is I say, okay, what did I accomplish? Right. I, worked my shift, or I was involved in this business meeting, whatever it is. And then what did I learn from the situation, or what did I notice? And so that's when I go, oh, I noticed that I could have communicated um, a little earlier about my break. I noticed that I kind of drove myself before taking a quick break. And or I lost my patience or something like that. And these are like spiritual ideas. So many of us just accept this. It's like I'm supposed to suffer through work. It's supposed to be a drag. And I'm supposed to feel tired and all this pressure at the end of the day and wonder, oh my God, there went all that beautiful energy of the vacation. But anyway, even if you're tired, what I found is that there's always something you can take away from it. And really also say, like, okay, I had the meeting, I resolved an issue that I had set a goal to resolve. I learned about some new areas at work, whatever comes to mind as keys that you could put together for yourself. And then relax, take a deep breath, cleanse as I look through my notes, and think about, see what the highlights were. And this is really important because in our society, we tend to give ourselves feedback, or we look for feedback of the negative things, or the things like, oh, geez, I lost my patience, and yet I'm supposed to be spiritual, and, what happened there? So for me, in that particular day, I thought of the highlights was like, well, it was really great to see everybody. They all were kind and happy to see me. And that felt really good. So there's a start. Now I'm going to get back into my feelings about the day. And for example, there was an issue that came up, an email issue and website issue. So, I worked with the manager. We resolved that issue. And oddly enough, the next day, the issue went away. So, while it was maybe a little stressful to go through the issue, as we have, not super stressful, but, a little bit of pressure to get this issue resolved, I kind of noticed like, oh, I could have taken a deep breath before I work with that situation. So again, the highlights. We got it done. I was greeted by everybody. It was great to see my old teammates, and it was a lot of fun. And I also became aware of some things technically. So I just focused on those highlights. And even then, I found myself tired, and I said, what I regrouped from my guidance was, you're tired. Don't think any more about it. Just relax, go home, get recharged, get your dinner, and let it go. So that's a big key. Regrouping your day and then letting it go. So, uh, and I think the other thing is find the little highlights, even if it's not so impressive. I know for me, it's like, well, it wasn't a big thing I accomplished today. It was just a little thing. All those little things lead to self-awareness, and it's all about peeling the layers of the onion as you grow spiritually, because the next day you might find, or in the next couple of days, you start to take that deep breath before you react to something. You start to respond rather than react. So anyways, there's a little tidbit from the spiritual businessman, how to work with your energy. You're coming back from vacation, you've been to some retreat, you're feeling great, and then you say, oh, go back to work, and you go, oh my God, the end of the day, I'm feeling, the mental gymnastics are happening. What's going on? Stop, regroup. What I accomplish? What did I learn? What were the highlights? And you can always ask yourself, what would you do differently? And just make a note of it, relax, spiritually cleanse. We have a technique that we offer through the Wayshowers College. We have some techniques and tools and techniques to help you get back in your feelings, your true feelings. And also on our YouTube channel, there's Teresa demonstrates spiritual cleansing. So those are some tips. And, we love to make spiritual work practical. I'm Tom Shantz, a spiritual businessman for Enthusiastically Spiritual. Have a great day.
We exist in a highly intellectual world, and often the feeling part where your inner wisdom lies gets left out. There's a way to feel more in balance with all parts of yourself. This way is by accessing a spiritual bigger picture of who you are as a soul. Check out the link in the show notes to access a free video series created by the Wayshowers College to support your journey and moving through this game of life. Your intellect and feeling parts will love it. To keep the enthusiasm going, please like, subscribe, or comment below. We would love to hear from you.